I'll start with you, Mom. Do you have any ghost stories?
No, but
Why do you look so excited?
Because your birthday present.
Oh, is it about ghost stories?
Might play into that somehow.
Oh.
So you don't have any ghost stories?
Let's see.
Okay, you don't
I've had
have
an out-of-body experience, but
Yeah,
that's
tell
not
me about
but that's
that.
not a ghost story.
Well, it's supernatural. How do you explain that? Ghost.
I don't know how you
God.
explain it.
Let's hear about it.
Okay, so this was a long, long time ago.
How long ago? BG? Before Gary?
No.
Nothing's that long. Nothing
No.
that old.
No.
People
But
don't remember those days.
I don't know if I should tell this story on
what's that?
the
Uh-oh.
air.
People are saying the gain on the mics is too much.
Too much gain?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's too loud. It's like tearing. We have a problem with the sound, Dan? Okay. Sorry, guys. We're fixing that. I can't wait to hear about this.
If you say, I don't know if I should tell this story, the answer is no, you shouldn't.
Okay.
No. What? No.
Okay.
Is it drug related? Drugs are fine.
No. It's nothing about drugs.
Tell me about it. Let's hear it. This is the juice. This is why we come together. This is interesting. It's rocking.
You seem worried.
It's a little wild and weird.
I don't know if I should say.
La 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 la. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear it. Come on. You can't not now.
Well.
Oh, this doesn't
Oh
sound
no!
good.
I don't know if I should.
I have
say.
no idea where she's going.
Whisper
That's
in
why
Dad's
I'm
ear.
scared.
Whisper in Dad's ear.
No.
All
Do
right,
I even know this?
So the sound is fine.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
sounds back. Okay, then we
I
have.
don't even know
we
it.
need this story.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Come on, how dangerous can it be? Tell us.
It could
the
be
story.
really
find out.
dangerous. Can I tell you off the air?
Yeah, sure. Everyone listening would love to hear you tell it off the air. No, you're committed now.
Okay, people
be?
don't
Let's go.
listen.
Spring it.
Okay,
Let's go.
all right.
Let's hear it.
Do you want to write it first for us? And we...
She was ready to tell
Okay,
the
tell
story.
it. Okay, tell the
Let me
story.
call my attorney first.
All
Is
right,
this going to
well-
end in me filing for divorce papers or
No,
something? Okay, good.
no. Your father and I have been married for 42 years.
42 years.
Wow.
42 years.
Seems like a long time.
Yes. And all marriages have ups and downs. There's no such perfect marriage. And we got married when we were young, and there was a time in our relationship where we broke up for a little bit. I don't know if you remember that.
I mean, I know the story.
It was like way before you were born.
Are you playing stuff?
No, I'm not.
This
Yes,
is like
you
the
are,
fifth
Gary.
time.
You
How are
can't
you
hear
playing
anything.
audio?
Gary,
What the hell?
ADD.
You're
come on.
chewing, you're playing stuff. This is out of control.
All right,
Okay.
you stop, please.
Just
So-
mute it. Just turn off
Yeah,
the sound.
I know.
of it.
Done.
Here's a
Please.
tip. You gotta
Stop.
mute it.
Just mute it. You could. All right,
Louise.
Mom,
Stop
we're ready.
picking on me.
Oh my God! Well, stop doing what you're doing. So, anyway, this was a time in my life, a short time, when I was with another person, and I was actually in
You guys
bed.
weren't together. You blew it.
Yeah,
No wonder I never heard this story.
I
Please
was
continue.
I was actually in bed, and this other person was sleeping, and I was up. At least I thought I was up. Maybe I was sleeping, and I just remember I was somehow I was like flying, and I was looking down on myself and this other person, and I thought for a minute that this was really cool that I was flying, and then I got scared.
You're like, what the
And
fuck?
yeah, I got scared. And then I remember I took my hand and I tried to grab myself to hold on to not like fly away from my body. And my hand went through
Weird.
my body. And I thought, oh my God, am I dead? What's happening?
Crazy.
And then at the last minute, when I realized that maybe this is not a
dream?
good thing, maybe this isn't a dream, maybe something horrible has happened to me, I screamed out your father's name. I did. I swear to God. I
That's
said,
a wonderful story.
I screamed
Let's
out your
not-
name because I wanted you, and I think we got back together.
You have
afterwards.
such good taste.
Wow, that was a wonderful story. What was the problem with that story?
I was in
I have
bed
no problem
sleeping
with
with
that
another
story.
Well, you weren't
man.
together. You
no,
had a
we were
breakup.
not.
No, we weren't.
Let's talk about how much fun I had
Never
during
mind.
the
I
disco
don't wanna-
era
I
when
don't
we
wanna
were
hear
broken
about
up.
that.
Hold on, wait. So
I don't
what do
wanna hear
you think? Maybe it could be like a sleep paralysis thing. Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it couldn't have been real. I couldn't have been flying, but it seemed so real.
You
'cause
could
I
have
was,
been flying.
I was looking down on myself, and I wanted
You
an
thought
anchor.
you were awake.
Maybe you're
Yeah, I thought I was awake.
maybe you're a warg.
I don't
You've
think
been
so
watching
because I
too many
was,
videos.
I
Yeah,
wasn't
we're-
in something else. It was just
So-
me. So that was my weird.
How did it end?
I woke up. I was screaming for Dad's name, and then I woke up.
You're not the first woman to do that.
Okay,
Oh,
come on. We're
come
trying to make this a
on.
nice moment.
Jeez.
Christ.
Jeez
I can hear
Louise.
laughter from the
One,
people
one,
over
one
there.
thing happened to me that was really weird. This is when your sister was a little baby. She was like maybe 4. Well, not a little baby. She was maybe like 4.
Yeah.
But
That's
this
not
was
a baby.
this is before both you and your brother were born.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was having a weird dream, a monster dream. And it kind of was freaking me out. And I woke up and Jessica came into the room and she said, "Mom, I'm having this monster dream." And she wanted to like crawl into bed with us for security because she was having it was the same dream that
You
I
guys
was
were having
having.
the same dream.
The same dream.
That's bizarre.
That was really weird.
Have you guys spoke about that? Like
all
now?
the time.
Huh.
All the time. We both made. I mean, it was
That's
something we
pretty
remembered.
spooky.
Yeah.
Like I've heard about people having the same dream. That's really weird that can happen.
Yeah, and I woke up when she came
Whoa.
into my room and told me that she was having this monster dream.
Ooh.
And
Monster dreams.
Yeah.
Very spooky.
yeah, so that's about all.
Did you have any Monster Energy drink that night by any chance?
No, I don't think they had those.
All right, I'm just asking.
Dad, do you have any ghost stories?
No, not.
You're like me. You're very. I feel like
I'm
you're
very
more,
empirical.
Yeah.
I've just had my weird dream stories like Mom, too, like the one with the
Oh.
movie poster and
Wait, you got
my
to tell that. Do you
biological
mind
father.
telling that
No.
story?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
I think
the
it's
movie
really,
poster.
it's really interesting, and I
Yes.
see the effect it had on you.
Yeah. It's, well, I was, my wonderful mother, Eileen, was way ahead of her time. She got married very young, married her high school sweetheart, who uncle was in the movie industry. His uncle, my biological father's Leonard Katzman. His uncle was Sam Katzman, who was the king of B movies. So my mother, though, was divorced when I was about 4 and a half or so. So we became a single mom, divorced, working, and no one did that back in the 50s. And my father worked for his uncle on doing movies. He ended up going to a lot of fame and fortune. He wrote Who Shot JR? Anyone who knows Dallas, he wrote and produced, all of the famous Dallas shows. So he had a tremendous amount of success. And I was actually in a movie because of his uncle. He was shooting a movie called The Magic Carpet, which was in probably 1951. And it starred Lucille Ball and Raymond Burr and all these people who no one knew who they were back then. And they needed a baby to be laid on a magic carpet and fly out the window and grow into someone else who had a baby. Well, Lenny Katzman had a baby, which was me. So I was on the magic carpet. I flew out the window. I grew up and I came back as John Agar, who no one even knows now, who I would never have cast to grow up as me. But there you have it. So I knew that there was a poster, something about this movie, but it was so small, you never hear anything about it. It's never on TV anymore. But there's
It's a small-time movie.
very small-time movie, right?
B movie.
Sam Katzman, B movies, 1951.
Can you even find it on IMDb? Does it even have a page?
It exists, and I always look for it on TV just to see if I was in it. And there's a
Billing.
tremendous company called Heritage Auctions, and they do movie poster auctions and collectibles, and I think they're one of the biggest auction companies in the country. So I put a search in for them for The Magic Carpet, the movie I was in. And this was, really almost as soon as the internet started going,
Decades
and Heritage Auctions existed, right, probably 15 years ago at least.
Okay.
And it was there, nothing. And about 6-7 months ago, I had the oddest dream because I was legally adopted by Mike Klein, the wonderful man who raised me, took me as his own child, legally adopted. So I gave up the Katzman name. I never, really even thought, had a dream, had any concepts about, what Lenny was doing aside from Dallas and all that stuff. But about 6-7 months ago, I had a really odd dream where I was kind of like a fly on a wall, kind of an ethereal spirit floating around. And I could see a guy who I knew was my father, Leonard Katzman, standing in front of a movie theater, pointing at the windows they have in front with the posters of the movies there. And he was standing with a bunch of his friends, standing there talking to them, pointing at it. Now, I couldn't, actually hear what they were saying, but I knew as clearly as I'm sitting here looking at you, I knew exactly what was going, that it was my father, and he was talking to his friend saying, look, this is me. This is the first movie I've looked at, this is pretty cool, right? And I woke up after that, and it was just very profound, of the fact I had dreamt about my biological father, who I had never, ever had a dream about before.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, I did. Let's go back to that.
Okay.
Remind me of that. So, I woke up and I told Mom, I was like, wow, I had the weirdest dream. I was up in the air floating and I saw my biological father, talking about this. And of course, Mom didn't remember it when I came to her later, and which was very disappointing. But anyway, so about 3 weeks, a month after having this really weird dream, I get a notice from Heritage Auctions after 15 years, the Magic Carpet movie poster is now available.
Yeah, and you've been looking for it all your life.
Looking 15 years. I'd had a search up for that.
And how long between that
This
dream?
was like 2 weeks after I had had that weird dream.
Wild.
Of my father pointing at this poster.
Right.
So just, the odds of those things being not connected
It's really wild.
just seem very weird. And again, I, like you, I'm very empirical. I'm very scientific. I don't believe
where I
in
get it from.
mumbo jumbo. But
I don't believe in ghosts.
just, the odds of that happening it just seems so weird that, I believe in the strange contradiction that you control what happens in your life, but certain things are destined or fated to happen, which is a total oxymoron. But that's what I believe. I believe I was destined to meet your mother. Certain things just happen in life. Now, of course, your brother will argue till he can't talk anymore that this doesn't happen. But,
Well, it's a philosophical debate. There's no correct answer to it.
but to have that dream and then a couple weeks later, after 15 years, to have that movie poster up, just,
That is really,
Pretty
weird.
really bizarre.
I don't
Yeah.
believe in coincidences. And that was just
That one's
too
pretty-
strange of a coincidence. So now I have that movie poster. I actually should
You
have
bought
brought
it.
it with me.
Yeah.
I bought it.
That's great.
Yeah, I
I
bought
love
it. And one, so it came up for auction. So I bid on it like $25, $30. And someone bid against me. And it's like, dude, I don't know who
I
you
had
are.
the dream, Doug. I
Yeah.
had the dream.
Everyone else in this movie is dead. So I know you have no connection because I was only 6 months old when this movie was made.
Right,
So,
right.
maybe some people are alive, but, no one has any interest. And it's like, dog, I'm winning this poster. I don't care how much it
So
takes.
how high did it get?
And it ended up only costing me like $50 or something.
He wasn't that invested.
Yeah, exactly. That's
He
what
didn't
I
have any
figured.
dreams about it,
Right.
probably.
Yeah, no
So I
dreams.
have it. I haven't gotten it framed yet.
Yeah, we need to get it framed.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. It was nice to have
So-
that after thinking about it for so long.
Do you guys have any ghost stories?
Oh,
Paranormal
ghost stories.
encounters?
Yes, we do.
You do?
Do you have one?
You go first.
Let's hear
Okay,
some
I'll go
ghosts.
first. Okay,
Spooky.
well,
Spooky alert.
I have like two, but okay, they're not, I wouldn't say they're like ghosts, just like paranormal kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, so the first one is like just kind of more personal to me. I don't know if it's like evidence of any sort of paranormal stuff, but yeah. So basically, when I was about 11 or 12, I think,
Mhm.
I was in bed and I was like about to fall asleep and I was laying with my back to the wall. So like I was facing the edge of the bed that was like out to the room. So I like opened my eyes for some reason and right in front of my face, like 2 inches away, I saw like a big statue guy. I would describe it like kind of a tiki head, but like also kind of like Easter Island heads, if you know those statues.
Yeah.
And he was just like staring at me, and I was like so scared. I just like froze. And then he just said, I'll be back.
Oh God.
And I like rolled over and like hid under the blanket and like
What?
yeah, I was just like frozen until I fell asleep, I guess. But yeah.
Oh
That
my
happened
God.
just one time.
Yeah,
So he
just
hasn't
the
been back
once.
yet.
And that's the thing. So for me, I like have it in my head like I'm
You're
sure
waiting.
my brain like conjured it up, but it could do it again. So I could see him again. And
I've
that's
heard
the scary
stuff-
thing.
Huh.
He's a liar.
He'll be back.
frickin'
He
liar.
might still be back though. So it's haunting me. It's like a ghost for me.
So that's
That's
stuff like
crazy.
that's actually happened to me. Not like that intense, but
It was
sometimes
intense, yeah.
I'll wake up from dreaming, and it's like your dream juice is left over in your brain, and you can like hallucinate
Yeah.
as if you were still dreaming.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was something like that.
You got dream juiced.
But it could happen again.
Does it feel like it was paranormal to you?
Like it did at the time. I was like, I know I saw it. Like I told my parents and everything. I was like, I know he was there. Like I saw this guy. It was like
my
it
gosh.
was like a stone statue in
That's
my room.
horrifying.
But yeah, now I know it was just like, I was sleeping or whatever. But because my brain like made it up, I could just do it again. So
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it
true.
could just come back. He'll
you'll be
back.
ready this time.
Will I? I don't know.
You
So,
like
yeah.
you just dream juice. God damn it,
I'll protect you.
you
man.
tiki ass.
He'll protect
Yeah.
me. Yeah, now I have him.
Yeah, there you go.
He'll
Well,
go
what are your
break
ghosts?
the statue.
None.
None.
Ghosts aren't real.
Oh!
All right, so he'll
Spoiler.
protect you. He'll be fine.
Okay, yeah.
I just didn't know what
He
kind of
doesn't
baggage he
believe in
had.
ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my other one is more like aliens, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
that's
that
good, too.
that works too.
Aliens?
Tell us.
Yeah, aliens. Okay.
Ghosts and aliens?
I've seen it all. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this one was more recent. It was when I was like going to school in Arizona, college, and I was like flying home for winter break or something, and I was just getting up. We were like at the full height, for the rest of the flight. We were way up, and I looked out the window, and there was like this black. It was like a blimp, I feel like, but it was really shiny. So it was kind of like a Zeppelin, but it didn't have wings. It was just kind of like coasting along, and it was going faster than our airplane.
What?
It was moving like kind of in the same direction as us, like a slightly different angle, but it was going faster than the plane. I was like, what is that like blimp going so fast?
But it was nighttime.
What shape was it?
It was daytime. It
And
was
a
like
black
the
blimp.
sun was like really shiny on it. Yeah. So that confused
That's
me a
spooky.
lot.
That's a
Some
weird
spooky
one.
action.
Yeah. But I'm like, the logical part of me is like, well, if they're flying an airplane, they know everything, like what's flying up here with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like it can't be anything like too crazy, but I don't know, it was really fast.
I
And
wish
really
I saw
high
cool
up.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know what.
And Jason, alien encounters?
Aliens aren't real, guys. Let's just stop talking about aliens because none of it's real.
Let's close the
Aliens
book.
are
Let's
real.
close
They
the
have
book
to
on
be
that one.
real.
We ask all of our guests if they have ghost stories, supernatural experiences, UFO sightings, anything like that. You don't need to get too deep. And if you don't, you can say no. That's perfectly fine. But do you have any supernatural experiences? You do? All right.
You do.
Do you mind sharing it?
I have two.
Okay.
Oh.
I've got to figure out which. I'll share you the one that's funnier, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so I went to Nashville and to a scientific conference, and I looked online to book a hotel, booked a hotel, and then I went down to Nashville, and my former graduate advisor was coming, staying in the same hotel, but he didn't come with me, and a student of mine who had become a professor was also coming into town. Okay, so I got to this hotel. And I didn't know that Nashville, that had been hollowed out, like the downtown wasn't good. There were lots of abandoned buildings. It was pretty crime-ridden, not a fun place. They're trying to put it back together, but the hotel that I'd rented was sort of in the middle of this, and it was a 70s hotel. And so it's kind of in a sketchy neighborhood. So that was interesting. So I walked in, but the lobby was beautiful. Like they'd completely redone it. There were replicas of like Renaissance paintings on the roof. It was all marble. It was really quite impressive. And then right next door to the lobby, there was this huge restaurant that probably sat 300-400 people. Really big restaurant. And I looked in the restaurant. There wasn't a single person there. And there was this steam table, you know, full of stainless steel trays, huge trays, and all there was like mac and cheese and green beans. You know what green beans are like if they're like soaking in hot water for like an hour. It's like, you don't want to eat those things. So that's all there was. And I thought, that's kind of weird. And there was no people in there. No staff, no people. I thought, that's weird. So anyways, I checked in and I went up, and the rest of the hotel really hadn't been fixed up since the 1970s. So it smelled like smoke. The carpets were old. I went into my room. It was kind of ratty, but it was okay. Put my computer on the bed, put my luggage on the bed, and called my graduate student and went out to have some barbecue. So that's fine. So then I came back and got into my room, and my graduate student came along. This was Colin, the guy who invented that personality test. And I walked in, and all the drawers in the cabinets were open. Like, so there was a bureau, 4 drawers and 4 drawers side to side. And there was the little table between the beds, and there was a desk. And all of the drawers were open. And not just a little bit open, like completely open. But my computer was still on the bed, and so was the luggage. And I thought, well, that's weird. I didn't open those damn drawers. And if someone came in here to steal something, why didn't they take the computer? That'd be the logical thing to do. So we closed all the drawers, and then we thought, well, maybe a big truck went by, and like, that's a pretty stupid hypothesis, but we couldn't think of anything else. So we kind of shook the cabinet to see if we could get the doors to open. We'd shut all the drawers. And when we turned around, the damn drawer on the desk was open again. So we shut that. So, okay. So I had opened, the drawer was open in the middle little cabinet between the beds too, and there was a Gideon Bible in there, and it was open, and it was open to the line that says, Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And I thought, well, that was pretty interesting. I closed that, closed the door. And my we talked for a while. Graduate student left, and I thought, I didn't really think much of it. I thought it was weird, you know, but whatever, it was weird. So then I went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I woke up, and I thought, you know, that wasn't just weird. That was really weird. It was like someone was in my room, right? Because otherwise, why were the drawers open? And why were they open? Like, what's going on?
And the Bible was open.
Well, and so the next morning, I went downstairs to this girl, black girl, behind the counter. And I walked up, and I said, look, I don't want to alarm you, but I went out last night, and when I came back into my room, all the drawers were open. I think someone was in my room. And she said, I don't want to alarm you, but we know this place is haunted. And I always come to work with a baseball bat. And I thought, oh, well, of all the responses I thought I would get.
Is that more terrifying?
Well, it was just, it was surreal, right? And it was like a movie moment. It was ridiculous. So I went and talked to my graduate advisor, an older guy who had been in the hotel, and he said that the night before he had taken a shower, and when he came out, there were 2 drawers open in his room. And so
these damn drawer opening ghosts.
Okay, and I'll finish this off with the other weird part of this story, which isn't quite so ghostly, but is also extremely weird, and it just gives you a sense of the place. So we went for breakfast the next day, and I took 2 different graduate students for breakfast. We went to this restaurant right next door, and there was no one there. And there was no staff.
The same one in the hotel.
Same one. Same one. Very fancy. Green marble. Like, it might have been quite a place back in the 1970s. So we're sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and sitting there for like half an hour. And finally this waiter walks by, and we stop and we say, well, do you have any menus? He says, well, we don't have menus. And I said, well, what do you mean you don't have menus? He said, you can just order anything you want.
What?
And I said, well, you mean anything? He said, yeah, you just order anything you want, and we'll cook it.
So weird.
Okay, so we ordered eggs and breakfast, right? Well, we'll have breakfast. How would that be? So then we're sitting there talking, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited. It was like 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Nobody's there.
No one's there.
No,
no
they're
one's
not
there.
cooking for
Nothing's
anyone else.
happening. Finally, he comes out with these plates, and he puts the plate down in front of me, and it's quite nicely garnished, and there's 2 eggs on it, and they are, I swear, they are raw.
What?
They have not been cooked. And I looked at him and I looked at the plate, and it was the same with the other two people that were there. They gave them eggs that had just been put on the plate.
What?
He said, well,
Cracked
cracked
right on.
It wasn't like they were undercooked. They weren't
They were
white with
just-
some clear on the top.
Right.
They were raw.
Right.
But nicely decorated.
Sure.
I thought,
That's so
well,
weird.
what the hell? What the hell? We said, okay, look. I was like, we called him back over. We said, these eggs are raw. They're not cooked. It's like, what's going on? He said, oh, we'll fix that. So then he went off into the kitchen, and it was like 20 minutes later, and he brought it back, and they were cooked. And so we'd been in there for like 2 hours by that point, late for the conference, and I was laughing to my students. I said, well, the only thing that could possibly top that off is if it was ridiculously expensive. So then he brought the bill. It was like $83.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so... Well,
But was he a ghost?
well, I don't know. Well, he wasn't a waiter, that's for sure, and he certainly wasn't a cook.